Ali Wong and Steven Yeun's Netflix series Beef just won a bunch of awards at the Golden Globes, but some people are debating that it was for diversity reasons and not because the show was actually really good.
You know, my favorite type of Asian beef is either teriyaki or the one that comes with a side of broccoli, if you know what I mean. We got to talk about this, Andrew. This is pretty legendary. You've got Ali Wong from the Asian American community, Steven Yeun deep in the Asian American community, obviously the guy who wrote Beef, Lee Sung-jin, cleaning up for the Golden Globes category of limited series.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was pretty big. Obviously, if you guys watched Beef, it was a good show, very dark, lots of actors in it, lots of Asian people taking place in LA. Very, very Asian American. Not Asian, but Asian American specifically. So this is considered, in my opinion, by the awards, the best Asian American series ever. Right.
You're saying this award shows that it probably is, right?
It probably is, right.
Well, by the way, guys, there haven't been that many. You probably can count them all on your two hands.
But anyways, we're going to go through the debate online and how come nobody can ever give Asians credit for anything. But please hit that like button. Check out other episodes of the Hot Pot Boys. But one thing that they are giving Asians credit for is small la sauce. Check it out. It's really good.
I guess the reason why people are debating it, and obviously I think the discussion within the Asian community is different than the one outside of it, is some people are like, yeah, man, the diversity awards gave a diversity award. I ain't shocked.
Right. I mean, here's my thing. I think Beef was a very good show. Now, whether you thought it was the greatest show or not, it was a very good show. And let's say the only other show that people are mentioning that could have won was Fargo, but it's
that
on
was the only other one in its category,
but it's on like
right?
season 6. And also, if you compare Fargo to Beef, Beef is new. It's a new story, and it's obviously has a lot of minorities. Fargo's like mostly like 90% white people, it looks like. So obviously, in this whole day and age, that's going to be the tiebreaker. Easy, no question.
You're saying that Hollywood had to pick between, Andrew, a show that talks about how America used to be in the 1950s and 60s, because if you guys know about Fargo, it's sort of like throwback. I believe it's North Dakota, don't you know? But then, or the way California is leading, the way you could argue the coastlines are headed.
Yeah, but I think that it was close enough. I don't think that, even if you don't think Beef was the greatest show, I think everybody thought it was a good show.
Is it? Like, because you know how, like, a lot of Asian people are going to be like, it was the greatest, and a lot of white people are like, it was DEI. Can it, in a way, be both? Can it be, like, Beef was like an 8 out of 10, and then there's this movement where, right, it is true, Hollywood wants to put on Asians, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
Especially just, like, Asians are way more integrated into various systems that Asians were, even 10 years ago, never integrated into. Could it be both?
Yeah. But also, David, does anybody even care about the Golden Globes anymore?
Right. Do people even care about awards anymore?
Right. Because there's so much my theory is there's so much content out there that is not getting nominated for award shows, not getting nominated for Oscars, not Golden Globes, that there's so much content out there that people watch that are not getting nominated. So what do the awards mean? Anyways, I'm happy for Beef. Shout out to everybody that won. I think they deserved it and they should have got it, but I think a lot of people would debate how important it is.
What do you think about this interesting moment where it almost feels like they're like, hey, Ali, did you know there's sushi at this year's award? It's the first year we've done it. Nobu's catering.
You can get some sushi here tonight, I hear.
Oh, that's good.
Nobu's doing the meal in there.
Oh.
This is a first for Nobu.
Is that serious?
Yeah.
You know, it's the Asian Awards this year. Like, we're doing pretty good, right? I guess what I'm saying is, if I had to analyze the white side, I think that some of the people in the entertainment industry, Andrew, they just view it as legitimately being progressive. But other people who don't relate to the story of Beef, they're going to be like, man, they're just shoving it down our throats. But I think both parties of older white people are acknowledging there is a wave. They're acknowledging the wave is what I'm saying.
No, I think everybody acknowledges that something has happened, that there is a push for more diversity, but that it's not that these products like Beef was a whack show. Right, you know what I mean?
And we got to talk about it, analyze it from a content side, Andrew. Isn't it true that Beef had to do more with like millennial Asians dealing with each other and our internal dynamics rather than just like, all right, you've got this strict Confucian mom where you got to get straight A's and become like a doctor.
Yeah, it was a different story.
It was finally a break from that.
Yeah, it was a break from that. It is a new story. It was a unique voice. And so I think taking that all into consideration, it's not crazy that it won.
You know,
probably-
between
it was-
Parasite and Minari and my daughter's doing Gangnam Style and all this BTS things. I'm Godzilla -1 came out this year. The Boy and the Hare, and I've just been seeing a lot more Asian faces come across my desk.
Listen, I think Asian content or Asian made content or content with Asian faces, not all of it is a hit, but some of them are legitimately good and they deserve recognition. And but I do think that maybe there is a push in Hollywood to be like, well, you know, we want to get the Asians on our side, so let's give them a bunch of awards. I don't know. Maybe it's like at the end of the night, you know, at a bar when it's closing up, and they could have given you free shots from the bar early on in the night,
Which would have made the night more lit,
when
right?
you and your friends were there. But since it's a wind down, now they're finally like, hey guys, you want a free shot? And it's like 2:30 a.m. and you're like, dude, I'm about ready to go. This party's ending.
Right. Well, the truth is, a lot of things are changing. I mean, I don't even want to get into it. Like the beauty pageants, got a whole bunch of new entrants in it. You know what I mean? So
A lot of the old institutions are up for an revamp, I guess.
Right. Of course, Andrew, here in the comment section, there's a bunch of people talking about how good the show is. The show is so weird. It's so unique and twisted, but they love it. There's another comment saying Darren Criss was actually the first guy to win a Golden Globe. He's a Filipino-American. He dedicated the award to his Filipino mom. So this was an interesting point of debate, Andrew. Darren Criss is actually half Filipino and half white, but he came out just looking like a different type of white.
Okay.
So a lot of people are not counting him because he's not Asian passing at all. I don't know. Like, what is this debate even valid?
What did he win for?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know, but I know that he won. Somebody said Steven carried the whole performance. Some people are against Ali. Obviously, some people are really only supporting Steven Yeun. Obviously, I do think the Asian American community, I'm not gonna lie, some of the internet people have started to go against Ali because Ali, I guess, like divorced her husband and got with Bill Hader, who's a white guy, where she had done a lot of content about Asian women needing to date Asian guys, and then for her to go get with a Hollywood white guy. Anyway, guys, that's a whole nother thing. Somebody said representation matters. I'm really happy for them, but the show isn't really good, all that or that good. Somebody was like, you know, there was a lot of comments being like, I'm glad that they won, but I didn't think the show was a 10 out of 10 or anything like that.
But it doesn't need to be a 10 out of 10 to win, guys, because I think that now when it comes to rating and judging things, there's only a consensus on whether it was a pretty good thing or a pretty bad series. Everybody else on the extremes, it varies. Whether you thought it was 10 out of 10, that's because it hit you personally.
Because you related to it, or you could.
But I think a lot of unbiased people can watch it and say for sure it was a 7 out of 10. But I don't. Or a 7.5 or an 8. But it's not like it wasn't at a 10 out of 10 for everybody. Because a 10 out of 10 just means that was just you personally feeling that way.
Let's be honest here. A lot of people that deeply relate to the storylines or the character archetypes in Fargo are probably not gonna watch Beef and relate to it.
Right. The people who think Fargo is at a 10 out of 10 because, dude, I had my uncle's family is similar to that. They live in South Dakota, so it's pretty similar.
Reminds me of my grandfather's.
Yeah, or it reminds me of like this one winter that I spent with my cousins, and God, it was an amazing show. It depicted it so accurately. What do you mean? And then that's just saying, hey, I'm an Asian American, I'm a Korean American in LA, and oh my God, Beef was 10 out of 10 because it depicted my life. But it's like, it's just, yeah, that's what it is.
It's just, you know, American society, the whole media market is so diverse nowadays. Somebody said Beef and Past Lives were the only two Asian shows in the past 2 years that were genuinely amazing. Do you think it's true, Andrew, that a lot of the Chinese content that mixes with the Chinese mythology just gets pushed for marketing reasons? Because it is true, like, I've heard this from other Asian Americans and even Chinese, but more non-Chinese people, that, like, all the stuff centered around Chinese mythology in modern day is just, like, corny.
You heard that from Chinese people? Which Chinese people are you talking about? Maybe we've mentioned something like that on this channel.
Right.
You know, I don't want to say it's all corny, but I'm definitely, like, tired of it. A little bit, or like I'm tired of the takes.
And here's the truth.
And the way that they're doing it.
And here's the truth. The reason why they do it is because they're trying to grab multiple markets, right?
Yeah. Also, I think that, I mean, those shows are not all bad either. There's definitely a market for it. So people are going to make shows when there's a market for it.
In my opinion, I'll take a hot take. I do not think ancient Chinese mythology from thousands of years ago has really any place in mixing with modern day American pop cultural society. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Hot take
And
Ooh,
you know what makes me
going
so mad
down,
about
down,
and
baby.
you know what makes me so mad about those pieces, Andrew? They never acknowledge that there is modern culture in China, like higher brothers and so many people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's basically saying like anything Chinese has to mix with like concepts from 3,000
Yeah, no,
years
anything
ago.
Fabi Chinese is like has to do with like Shangdi or like some crazy like.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Even if they were gonna pick some ancient stuff, man, pick the warring three kingdoms.
By the
or something.
way, if you guys wanted to hear my opinion, I thought Beef was better than Past Lives as a movie. I wasn't as into Past Lives. I didn't think that was that good.
I think Past Lives though was almost more real to people's lives though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
Yeah, but Beef is a better show.
Yeah, it's more realistic,
entertaining.
I guess.
It's just more like a documentary, actually. Somebody just said these are the comments that are hating on Beef winning, right? Somebody's saying the DEI, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Department has been forcing many questionable hires and promotions in many companies. Looks like same things happening at the Golden Globes, just like it did at the Oscars.
This guy said Beef was a terrible show, bottom 10% of Netflix. No, it was not bottom 10%. Are you kidding me? Do you know the bottom 10% of Netflix is pretty terrible, actually?
How disgustingly woke, never heard of her or the others before. They got it wrong. Token win, awful, nice diversity award for a diversity show.
Yo, this guy, I'm not surprised. This guy, Ditz ZX, said awful.
Well, he actually looks like the guy who Breaking Bad was based off
He
of.
looks like he's stars in Fargo. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'll say this. It's like interesting to me because I want to support Asian projects, but I also don't want to care about white validation. But now the white validation's here. Like, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I'm supporting it, but I'm just kind of over it. I'm glad because it brings more. It's like you just need it to happen to your community, but I'm not going to sit there and be one of those people at home. Yippee!
Well,
happiest day of the year! Like, there's all this serious stuff happening in the world, serious stuff happening with Asians, both in America as well as in Asia.
Is part of you feeling like that? So you're kind of saying, listen, you're happy for them, you're glad, but it's more that you're glad than you're happy. You're glad that it's happening, but you can't put your heart into it and you can't care that much.
Right, because it just shows that the ball is rolling.
Right. But is it personally for you that situation because we've been in media and we've also been following the Asian American rise for like our entire lives? Obviously, we've been part of it more at a time, during the whole YouTube thing. And then now we're kind of like watching it and commentating on the whole thing. So it's like, we've been covering it for a while. So shit, I'm glad it's happening, but you're just saying you're tired of it. You're tired.
No, I'm not tired of it. I want it to keep going. I want it to keep rolling. But I'm like, I want it to roll faster. I want it to roll with a more wide breadth of storylines and things like that.
Okay.
But it is what it is because the forces that are there, if you guys really understand the mechanics on the internal, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, it's all like, it's going as it should, I guess, like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
But I say this. When I was doing research for this video, Andrew, all the videos that are from the mainstream outlets that have to cover Beef winning have like no comments. Like, you know what I mean? Like from Access Hollywood's YouTube video, there's like no comments.
Less engagement.
Yeah, there's much less engagement than it would be, honestly, even if like Fargo won.
I think it's...
Because it's like, obviously
but
it
it is
something that, not that we have to care, but I'm just saying mainstream America is kind of like, they're kind of like, yep, that's great. That's great that the Asians won. Yeah, Beef was great. I watched it. But you know what I mean? They're not,
No. You know what it is? Dude, I got it. I got the analogy. It's kind of like when it's a mostly non-Asian high school, right? And the Asian kids make up 5%, but the valedictorian that year is Asian, and they're given the speech at graduation in front of everybody. And they're supposed to speak on everybody's high school experience. And they're at the podium, and everybody in the school is like, yeah, I sort of heard of this kid, and they're kind of like nerdy, and I guess they've achieved a lot, but I really don't care about what their speech is.
Right.
So it's the valedictorian Asian who's winning an award, but nobody really knows who they are or really cares about their personality. That's what's happening.
Yeah, and actually that exact situation where the Asian is the valedictorian, even with a small portion of the population, that's happened across America for like 30 years.
Yeah, I gave my high school speech, and my high school was not mostly Asian. I wasn't a valedictorian, though, that's for sure. But
ultimately, I just think it's cool, man. I mean, it makes me be happy for Asians in entertainment, but the more and more I think about it, I just think about how we can impact society by building our own like small business communities as well. You know what I mean? A boba, like I always tell everybody who's thinking about opening up a boba shop, a new Asian restaurant, something that's second gen, Andrew, that's like more authentic on the taste side, but the systems and the marketing are more Americanized. Just keep going harder. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm realizing now, I think when I was younger and not as involved in other businesses, I was only thinking about Asian representation in the West through media. But now I realize it really takes place through small business as well, because we got a black friend from Charlotte, and he was telling me that the boba shops growing up were even nicer than the coffee shops in Charlotte. You know what I mean? So that was like changing his perception, specifically the Charlotte environment, because, it's not known for being very stylish.
Right. So the boba shops that did come in, they came in at a higher level.
Yeah. And I'm saying that changed his mind on how he viewed Asians, obviously within that micro fishbowl of Charlotte and Charlotte extended. But I guess what I'm saying is the way you can make an impact in this game and obviously make a living for yourself and your family, there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah. Well, you guys let us know what you think. How good was beef? And do you care about representation like this? Do you care about the Golden Globes? Let us know in the comments down below. And until next time, we out.
Peace.